Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Another World of Tanks video. I think this is the third one I've recorded recently. I'm not becoming a World of Tanks YouTuber, it's just that there's been, a couple of things and I really wanted to talk about them. One was the marking, which I don't think that video's out yet. I think I'm going to delay that a little bit because this is fresh news and important. About the tank marking and stuff, I'll do it later, but, spoilers for that one. Actually, yes, hold the tank. Never mind. So no spoilers for that one. I did it though. It was good fun. It was frustrating. But anyways, more on that later. Today, marathon. Ladies and gentlemen, rolling thunder, because that's what Grom means in Polish and Serbian and a couple of other Slavic languages. But this is the brand new spanking Tier 8 Polish Premium Tank Destroyer, which has a very interesting mechanic whereby it does more damage at close range than it does when you're sniping from the back. So definitely you need to be more aggressive with it, go up front and so on and so forth. Great, fine, dandy, beautiful. How's the tank? What's the tank like? Whoa. Okay, I guess that's some divine providence or something, or a sign from the heavens, I guess. Knocked a bottle over. The tank is average. It's very much an average tank destroyer, and in fact, I want to compare it to the Tier 8 Premium Tank Destroyer, the TS5. Well, Juggernaut, it has nothing to do with the TS5, because you see the TS5, yes, it doesn't. Except it kind of does. Similar playstyle, right? The idea with the TS5 is you wouldn't really use this tank to snipe, or at least that isn't how it's designed on paper, right? It has relatively good armor, 260 in the hull, and I guess the idea was you would use this thing to go in front and bully people and brawl with them, that kind of tank destroyer. The Grom is similar, and the reason I'm comparing it with the TS5 is the TS5 is also a marathon tank, and I got it from a marathon. And I haven't really played with it. I mean, I played it when I got it from the marathon. It was fine. And then I played a couple of battles with it, and it wasn't fine. Here's the problem. You can't really side-scrap with it. The armor on the tracks here is very soft. The cupola is very soft, and the lower plate is very soft as well. Especially when people load gold. And when you're fighting against Tier 10s, they don't need to load gold. Tier 9s, more or less the same. When you're fighting against Tier 7s and Tier 8s, they're just going to load gold and penetrate you there anyway. So you're really good against Tier 6s. Huzzah! Name a Tier 8 tank that isn't. So yeah, I have a fancy camo on it, which is pretty nice, but I haven't really played it since. I mean, I got it to like 65% at some point. I've played it a little bit after the marathon, and that's about it. I don't know how many battles I have with it, doesn't really matter. But the other reason I wanted to talk to you about the marathon today is the last stage is 43,000 XP. Sorry, the 9th stage, the second to last stage, is 40... was it 43? Yeah, 43. The last stage is 50,000 experience. Actually more, 53,000 experience. Be the top player on your team by damage calls 40 times is the skill mission. Chances are, by the time you get to this, you're going to do this. Pretty much, yeah. Like, how often are you top on damage on your team? Let's say you play just with a Grilla 15 or an FV as something that you know you can get massive damage with. Because top player on your team by damage caused, you don't need to win. If you needed to win, this will be very difficult, so you don't need to win. How often do you do this? If you really get down in the mud and you really focus, is it going to be every 3 battles? Is it going to be every 4 battles? Because if it's going to be every 4 battles, you're going to do the mission for the experience anyway. Right? Like, by the time you get this, you're going to get this anyway. So, yeah. The marathon lasts from October 3rd to October 14th. And I have some data for you. So, here's the thing. how many battles do we need to do the marathon? Well, first of all, you need to know what base experience is. If you want to know what base experience is, it's the amount of experience you gain for the damage and assisting damage you do in a battle without any of the modifiers, such as boosters, the modifier for having a premium account, anything. It's just the base value. Also, the amount of base experience varies on whether you've won the battle or not. So if you win, you get, like, I think double or something like that, or like 30%, 40% more, something like that. If you lose, you get considerably less, obviously. So, how long will it take? That's the question, right? That's what we're all wondering. Well, the first question you've got to ask yourself is how much XP do you earn on average for, let's say, 20 battles? Or let's go even more. In 30 battles, how much average XP do you earn? Well, you can go over here, and you see this here will say average experience. The problem with that is, this is the ratio of total experience earned in the number of battles fought in the session. I don't know if average experience actually counts just base experience. I have a sneaking suspicion it doesn't. I think it counts like daily doubles, and it counts like some other things maybe, so I don't know how much this is a thing, but you can use sites like Tomato GG and stuff like that to see how much base experience you earn on average. I think for the account itself here, in like my whole account, I do around 600, 550, something like that. But I've had the account since like 2011 or 2012, something like that. So, yeah. Not very, how do we put this, not very representative of my recent games. Recently, I think I'm doing around 700, maybe? Ish? So, with 700 experience-ish, it would take me, let me get out the math calculator thing, it would take me 200 hours, slightly over 200 hours, to get from stage 1 to stage 10. You can cut that a little bit if you get lucky with some high-tier games and skip some of the experience, but what you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that tier 5, or a stage 5, is not the halfway point of the marathon. Stage 7 is, if you want to get the tank for free. Yeah. So, the 200 hours, what is it based on? Well, it's based on the fact that, according to my calculations, the average game of World of Tanks lasts exactly 6 minutes. Most people will tell you, oh, that's a bit generous, they're like 3, 4, 5 minutes sometimes. Yes, but you do need to prepare the tank, you need to queue up, and you need to load into the battle, which also takes time. So the 5-minute average battle is great, but there's also a wait time associated with it. So you need to calculate that as well. And so what that means, the amount of experience required each day, on average, for the average player, is around 23,000, I think. Yeah. The amount of experience required in total is 261,000 XP. Yeah. So, some basic math. If it lasts 6 minutes, and you do around 700 experience on average, it will take you right around 370 battles, 370, 380 battles-ish, to get the marathon done. It's a bit much. And marathons like these tend to leave me wanting to never play the game ever again, because a lot of people are trying to get their hands on a tier 8 tank, because here's the truth of the matter is, let's get into a game and then I'll continue from there. Here's the truth of the matter, right? A lot of people are using events like this to grind for credits. They're using events like this to grind something else, like a Mark of Excellence, or a particular tech tree line, or whatever. Now they have extra motivation to play. A lot of those same people that are grinding things and playing a lot nowadays are the same people that, well, not all of them, obviously, but a portion of the player base, a significant portion of the player base, doesn't really want to spend a lot of money on the game. Some players do. You know, I mean, hell, guilty as charged, right? I've spent a significant amount of money on this game. But some players don't really want to pay for a premium account, don't really want to pay for the What Plus subscription, don't want to pay for, you know, anything really in the game, or they pay very rarely and very little. It is a free-to-play game after all, they're well within their rights to do so, we welcome them, I am happy that there are people like that in the game, because usually I just, you know, they're easier to deal with as enemies sometimes. Now, that's not to say that cashing out money is going to make you automatically better at the game, but here's what it's going to do. You're going to get more credits, you're going to get more experience, your crew's going to be better, your tanks are going to be better, you're going to use better equipment, you're going to use food, you're going to use better consumables, you're going to use better ammunition more often, so on and so forth. And for free-to-play players, it's a challenge, right? It's tough. It's not impossible, but it's tough. And I don't always have a premium account. I don't want to spend like hundreds of dollars each year on this game. I have no intention to. But I also have very good friends of mine who haven't spent a cent on this game and have, you know, their tier 10 tanks or tier 8, tier 9 tanks or whatever, and are oftentimes financially struggling. Why am I saying all of this? Well, having any tier 8 premium, especially if you can earn it for free, basically for a free-to-play player is amazing. Beyond just amazing, it's the goal, right? It's the thing to have and do, and, you know. And the reason I'm saying that is, he's gonna, there we go. And the reason I'm saying that is because tier 8 makes a ton of credits. Even without a premium tank, even without a premium account, tier 8 tanks make a ton of credits. And all you gotta do is, every time you wanna, let's say you're playing on a free-to-play account and you wanna mark tanks. Great, good luck. You do 2 or 3 battles in the tank that you're trying to mark. For example, recently for me it's been the Indian Panzer. You do a couple of battles in that, and then you do a couple of battles in your tier 8 premium to earn money so you can keep playing with the tank. And you can keep playing with it properly, you know, with a solid amount of gold ammunition, which you will not spam, but, you know, you will still use occasionally. Maybe you want to get some good consumables, so on and so forth. Get all of that. Beautiful. Yeah? All you need, really. And so, there you go. You were bound to make that mistake sooner or later, getting a bit overly confident there. I want to have a full clip before I continue. And so, a while ago, in fact, in the last 2, well, not the last 2, but 2 marathons in total, or 4-2 marathons in total, I had this idea of proving to myself that I could do the marathon, and grinding away at the game. And I did that, and I got it. I got the tank. At a time when I was a little bit worse at the game than I am now. I sat down, I grinded, I couldn't play for all of the 10 days, or however long it lasted. It was a bit more than 10 days, but I think it was like the previous one I did was like 11 or 12 days or something like that. I feel like it was a little bit longer than this one. But anyways, I grinded, and I got the tank. And I got 2 tanks from a marathon for free. At the end of each marathon, I didn't want to play World of Tanks anymore because I just was completely burnt out. But I got my tanks. And oftentimes I ended up not playing with them ever again. But never mind, I got the tanks, right? Cool, excellent. It's not a challenge anymore for me. You could argue that it never really was a challenge to get the tanks. It was just a matter of grinding. It was just a matter of dedicating time, and everyone can get it if they dedicate enough time. And that's true enough, but I couldn't get, you know, an infinite amount of time to play. I also was busy at the time, I had other things to do, and I thought, you know what, let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I have the mental dexterity and the you know, endurance to play through all of that, to play enough at my level, which at the time, like I said, was my average experience per game was significantly less, and so on and so forth, so I wanted to see whether I have the... whether I'm capable of getting it, basically. That's all, right? That was a mistake. Okay, that's good. For fuck's sake, sod you! I need to make some pressure because the team's losing and I need to get some more damage in. And honestly, 2.8 thousand game like this, more than enough. My butt's sticking out a bit too much. I need to eliminate the guns. Starting with this guy. This guy's shooting high explosives, so it isn't biggest problem in the world. Maybe waiting for a clip, like all 3 rounds, is the way to do it, because I could get swarmed at any moment, realistically. If they can take out that KPZ, I'm going to be in a much better position. Look at Tiger's left. 7 to 6. I need to focus for a minute. I'll get back to the marathon talks in a second. No, you just shot. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Okay, very important gun to eliminate. 2 on 2. We're fighting. We're in the trenches. We're there. It's happening. All right. Time to apply some pressure. You absolute bastard. I can't afford to do this. I just realized I can't afford to do that. I'm 1 shot now. The camera fucked me. Sorry. 3.2, that could have played that way better, but I really thought that I wasn't. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I wasn't looking at the map. I thought I had more support from like over here and over here. I didn't realize the 87 moved and that I could get outflanked like that and stuff. Yikes! That could have been so much better. Could have been like 4,000 easily. 3.2 is fine though. 3.2 is fine. That's a good live battle, especially considering that a lot of my live battles are kind of dog shite. Because I feel sort of nervous playing live with the, you know. One, I'm focusing on what I'm trying to say, and yeah, it's anyways, doesn't matter. So, what's the... Oh, I can't get this anyway, because it's tier 9 to tier 10. Also, dick move, tier 9 to tier 10. Let's play with tier 8s. Let us grind credits while we're doing the marathon. You know, because we can get the skill missions done, and it's... Technically, it should be a little bit faster, but not by much, honestly. It's still, like, right around there. So anyways, if the tank was really good, or even slightly above average, I would be definitely grinding this marathon, because I'd want the tank, right? For example, we had the Barask, the Borat as people are calling it, the tier 8 French medium for a marathon. Incredible tank. I absolutely love the idea of it. I don't have it, but I love the idea of it. If we had a similar tank like that, it probably wouldn't be great for the health of the game, but we have so many Progettos and Borats running around the place already that it wouldn't really change much, honestly, if we're being completely transparent with each other. So, yeah, there's that. The Object 274A was the other tank I got. Right, I had the TS5 marathon I did and the Object marathon. The Object's not a bad tank. It's... I would say slightly above average. The gun's a bit, yeah, the armor's a bit dubious. It doesn't have that IS-3 profile of armor, which would have made it a little bit better, but it's an alright tank. I mean, it's, for one, it's a medium, it's not a heavy, but it kind of feels like a heavy because the speed and stuff, it's a little bit sluggish. On paper, 58 kph top speed, but in reality, you're not going to get there. And And so, yeah, like, say, hull armor, 95 millimeters. Look at that. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. It's an alright vehicle. TS5, some people like it. I think nowadays it's completely, it's an out-of-date concept, I think. Soft, weak points that everyone can get through with gold ammunition. Sorry, and the concept of how you play the tank is completely outside of the meta. Tank destroyers without turrets cannot go in the front lines and just push their faces into the enemies anymore. Not an option. You can't apply pressure with this tank. Sure, you can have some amazing games. I think I had like a 5,000 or 6,000 damage game with it once. Considering I haven't played it much and it was a long time ago, I feel like that's pretty good. But you need to be really lucky, and you can get outplayed and outmaneuvered so bloody easily that it's really not that great. Anyways, let's take a look at this battle. So, team report, 1,216 experience. Top on damage, top on experience. If I can do it like this for every single solitary battle for the rest of the day, that would be lovely. Unfortunately, I can't. But here's the really important thing that I want to show you. This is your base experience. If you take a look at the session stats over here, it says my average experience is 1,800. No, it's not. It's 1,800 with a premium account. It's 3,800. Actually, let's sod it. Let's do the multiplier as well for the premium account. It's 9,300 experience. Wow, right? Except not really. We need base experience, and base experience is what you get here in this screen. Team score, and then here. So let's take a look at the average amount of experience for both teams. For the winning team, it's 700. For the losing team, it's less than 300. Now, you gotta ask yourself the question, what are your stats? How many battles do you win on average? For me, I'm a slightly above average player. I have no problem admitting that, although recently I've been playing pretty good, so recently I've been a little bit better than above average, right? My WN8 has been really good recently if you check on Tomato GG and stuff, but I have been marking tanks, I've been focusing really hard, and I haven't been really playing any stock tanks, which sometimes I do, which that also influences your stats a ton. If you play stock tanks, and I do that a lot, I try and be as frugal as I can in the game. So yeah, like stuff like that is gonna decrease both my win ratio, my win percentages, and my well, generally my stats like damage and experience and all sorts of things. So keep that in mind. Just because, you know, you see a Super Unicum player with like, I don't know, 4,000 damage on average, or a 6,000 assisting, or 6,000 combined damage in an average battle, doesn't mean that they always get that, and doesn't mean that, you know, it's a really realistic number for you because of how you play and the tanks you play and so on and so forth. So keep that in mind. But anyways, 700 and 300, you will notice, combined is 1,000, so that's the average score for both teams. The idea is, if you're a 49, 50, 51% player, you're going to be half the time here, half the time here. Which means that's 1,000 damage. Oh, sorry, well, that's 1,000 base experience, which further means 500 experience, base experience on average. That means, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to take you 520 battles to get the tank for free. Which per day equates to around 50, right? 40 something, because it's technically 11 days, right? From 3rd to 14th, yeah, technically it's a little bit more. Yikes. Once upon a time, a long time ago, for me, these marathons were an athletic test of sorts, right? Do I have the capability mentally, and you know, do I have the focus and the dexterity and the, you know, can I do it? Can I persist to the end to get the things, to get the tank and you know, to get the prize? And I did it twice. And when the Borat was around, I didn't play the game, and I've missed out on a couple of marathons. And then there were those Battle Pass marathons as well, which were alright. I think they were slightly better than this one, but it's just a lot of time, and the tank isn't even worth it, in my modest opinion. So, here's the thing. I think you are much better off, instead of playing the game for, if we just calculated that the average player is going to do like around 500 to 600 damage, or sorry, again, not damage, base experience on average. It's going to take between 280 and 230 hours for you to get the tank, if you're an average player. I would recommend, instead of playing this game for 280 hours in the course of the next 10 days, use those 280 hours to go and make some money. Learn a skill, make something, sell something online, I don't know, work as a waiter somewhere for a little bit. Granted, nobody's going to take you on for 10 days and then let you go, but what I mean is, it's much better to get a job. You know, invest significantly less hours, because, like, what, the average work week is how many hours? Now, I guess, you know, it depends on the country, right? But for me, I get paid 8 hours a day. That's my, like, work time, right? Full time. 8 hours a day. 9 to 5 is, I guess, the most average work time, right? For a lot of people. Or, you know, the equivalent of that time in maybe different hours. So, here's the thing, here's a novel idea. Work that job and just pay for the tank. It's significantly less time, and it's significantly less grindy. And let me tell you, from an aging YouTuber, time is the most valuable resource you have. Those $50, $60 that you waste on a video game, you're gonna get them back. You're gonna make more. It's not the end of the world. Now, I'm no financial expert, mind you. I don't know what sort of situation you live in. I get that, especially for teenagers and younger people, it doesn't seem like that. Spending $50 on a virtual tank seems a bit... Where the hell did that shell go? Seems a bit, well, ridiculous, if we're gonna be honest. I understand. Don't get me wrong. I was there for, you know, up until I was, like, what, 18, I was not in a position to spend a single dollar on a video game. I think when I was like 14, 13, 12, something like that, I bought, or rather my uncle bought me Counter-Strike, or Counter-Strike Go, when it was first released. God knows when. Was that like 2010? How old was I at that point? Might have actually been even older. Yikes. Anyways, no, I think it was like... it was 14, maybe? Anywho. Don't know if I bought it exactly in 2010 or not, that's what I'm trying to calculate. Anywho. I get it. I get it. For some people, it's, you know, it's a problem. And it's not something that they can easily afford, and I get all that. But at the same time, for the average person, this marathon just isn't worth it. And tell you what, the Indian Panzer is a tank that I'm trying to mark, and that I will mark eventually. I got it all the way from 0% to 71, so it's also a thing I wanted to mention in the previous video, but completely forgot to. Marking tanks from 0 to 85% is a lot more rewarding, and it feels a lot easier, because you're there from the start. And even if you lose, like, even if you go from 77 to, like, 76, 74, if you go from 85 to, like, I don't know, 79 again, whatever, if you go up and down in the Mark of Excellence like that, it still feels pretty good, because you got there from 0, and you've been playing the tank for, like, a week or a couple of days or whatever. It feels pretty good. Whereas if you play a tank that you've played in, like, 2004, and you already have 79% of the Mark of Excellence on it, it's going to take you some time to get used to the tank, to get, you know, to really earn those, to really sort of re-earn that percentage that you already have. And so, I have no idea where to go. I'm completely stuck in a crossfire. Okay, we're not going to show that. What the hell happened? It's like all of a sudden, wherever I peek, I have higher tier and better tanks shooting at me. I am sorry, I need to focus. I need to not play this tank ever again while recording for a YouTube video, because I was like a bloody tourist, just... Wow, okay. Well, you know what? From a shining beacon of hope of 1.2 thousand base experience to the worst game I've had probably all month. You know what? Perfect. End the video here. That's it. I don't need to show you anything more. There you go. That's what it's going to be like. And I'm going to have, like, what? 100 XP, maybe. So, 1.3 on average, divided in 2, 700. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's not 700. It's 650, but let's be honest, this isn't going to be my average defeat. No, is that going to be your average victory? No, but like 800, 900, 1,000 on a victory on average. I know how I do. I know roughly how much I make. And this was a really, really, really below average score. So, yeah. Anywho. Been also playing the Defender recently. Not doing particularly great with it, as you can see. In fact, doing horribly with it, but got some equipment on it. In fact, I'm curious. I did 0 damage. How much XP do I make? 100, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, I will see you all in the next video. Don't do this marathon. It's like 200-something hours to do it. In the best case scenario for an average player, it's way too much, and the tanks are not even that good. But if you do want to do it, congratulations on even making the decision and you know, having the time and being in that position to where you feel like you know, can attempt it and making that decision. It's a brave decision to try. I think the way Wargaming calculates these things is most people are going to get to stage 5, stage 6, and they're going to buy the tank. And these tanks, when they're on Marathon, are horribly overpriced anyway. So, yeah, you do the math, basically. There you go. So, yeah, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned with the rest of the content I produce on this channel. It's mainly not World of Tanks. It's Let's Plays for RPGs and strategy games and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'll see you all next time. Until then, have fun, take care, and bye-bye. Oh, and by the way, just to prove that I actually know how to play World of Tanks sometimes, 2,000 spotting, 1.2 thousand damage, Indian Panzer. See, that's the kind of games I need. Win or lose. Anywho, see you around.